Welcome to That's the Reality of It. I'm William, your host, and today I have two good friends I met today. I fell in love with both of them, and I want to introduce you to them. One kind of favors me, the other one is just gorgeous all by herself. Okay? So we have Amy
Hello.
and
Winnie.
Winnie.
Yeah.
Now, Winnie has my distinct feature. Okay? So, and if anybody agree with that, we will come after you. All right. So Winnie, Amy, tell me about Winnie.
So Winnie is an African black-footed penguin. She's one of our featured animals here at the Maryland Zoo. We have a whole exhibit designed just around these black-footed penguins. We have 87 of them that people can see. So if you don't see a penguin when you come here, you're not looking. There are lots and lots of penguins. You can see them underwater. You can see them on the beach area. You can see them up nose to the glass. You can even see the keepers feeding them twice a day.
Don't you bite me. She just said you were fed.
She's a little bit of a diva. She likes the mic to herself.
Is that right?
Yes.
What do you got to say? No. You have nothing to say. We're going to leave that alone. All right? And how long have you had the African penguin?
So the African penguins have been here since 1965. We've had a large colony, and if you've seen African penguins at another zoo, more than likely they came from Baltimore,
Right.
because we breed more than anybody else outside of South Africa, so usually they come from here. We're very good at penguins, and we like to showcase them as the center point of our zoo.
Sounds good. And we're not done because we're going to go to several places in the zoo, maybe see some the rhinoceros.
Rhinos, yep.
And you mentioned
Maybe some grizzlies.
Some grizzlies.
Yeah.
We want to get too close to the grizzlies, right?
No, there'll be no holding the grizzlies or
No?
the rhino. They don't take kindly to that.
I believe that. I believe that. So don't go anywhere. We're going to go on this tour to the Maryland Zoo, one of the oldest zoo, I think, in America, right?
Third oldest zoo in the country, that's right.
Third oldest zoo. So we started it all prior to the other two, but they're not as good as us. All right? So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, now we're here at the grizzly exhibit, and we have two grizzlies here, and we got some footage of them.
Yes.
So tell me about the grizzlies.
So we have our two grizzlies. We're still calling them cubs. They're a year and not yet a half yet, so they're still very young. We have Nova and Nita. Nova is up top. She's a little bit darker, and Nita is the one with more of the lighter chest, more blonde to her. They're sisters, and they were orphans, so we actually went out to Montana, and we rescued them from there.
Can I understand the mom was shot?
The mom was shot, that's right. So they had a report of grizzly cubs roaming free without a mother in sight, and so when the wildlife officials went out to look for her, they actually found the very, very injured mother. She had been shot in the face, and so they had to euthanize her, and then they found the two cubs, and through DNA they confirmed that they were both from her, and so they had to either be taken in or euthanized, and because they were young enough that we felt like we could place them in a zoo or place them in a different habitat, then they were saved, and now they live here in Maryland. So they're the only grizzlies you're going to see here in Maryland.
Really, the only ones?
The only ones. So they do have black bears that live here in Maryland, but they are much smaller than the grizzlies will be.
All right, so now you have the grizzly story, and we're going to keep moving because we got some more to see. Don't go anywhere. And now we're in another area of the zoo, and we see zebras behind us,
That's right.
an ostrich, and soon you'll see a rhinoceros.
That's right. If you look real hard, you can see the rhino.
Make sure you don't think it's a rock because it can look like a rock, but look at the long horns, you know it's a rhino. Tell us about this area.
So this area is called the African Watering Hole. It opened in 1992, but it's still pretty relevant. It's got a good amount of space. It's a mixed species exhibit, so we have hoofstock, which are the zebra in here. We also have the ostrich who's looking at us, Matilda, and then we have Stubby, one of our southern white rhinos, and then we also have Jaharo, who is another rhino who is out in the afternoon. He's a new rhino here at the zoo. He's only 4 years old.
Now, there are different rhinos, right? What type of rhino is that?
There are white rhinos, black rhinos, Sumatran, Indian, Javan, and every one of those are critically endangered. So all of the rhino species that you have ever seen anywhere is an endangered species. We have southern white rhinos here, which we have always had. Stubby and Jaharo, both that species. But if you look at white rhinos and black rhinos, the main difference, it's kind of funny, they're not different colors, but their lip is different. If you look at Stubby, his scientific name was Dutch for white, or for wide, meaning he had wide lips, and so because he's a grass eater, but the black rhinos eat a lot of twigs and they eat a lot of branches, and so their lips are made a little bit differently. They're also a little bit smaller because of where they live. But the southern white rhino you can see right here at the Maryland Zoo, one of my favorites, Stubby, over there looking like a rock, sitting in some mud, cooling off in the hot sun.
Very smart rhino, getting some cool mud all around them and some water because the polar bear, you said, sitting on some ice.
That's right. The polar bear is a little hot today, so it's what we like to call Africa hot today. So the polar bear is, I'm sure, inside in the air conditioning if you did not see her and you come out to the zoo and it's very warm. They are acclimated to some of our warm temperatures here, but when it gets above 90, they're very hot, and so they usually go inside.
So they get very smart and don't hang out.
They do, no matter what the pool temperature is. The pool temperature is ground temperature. It's not heated or cooled, so it's usually about 55 to 60 degrees year round. And that polar bear still prefers to be inside on a big chunk of ice and laying in the air conditioning, so she's no dummy.
She's no dummy.
No.
So don't go anywhere. We got more to see, so we'll be right back. All right, now we're here at the cheetahs exhibit. We also going to show you the leopard, because the leopard and the cheetah have different markings, and I was totally confused. I thought they were all both cheetahs or leopards. So Amy's going to tell us the difference, right?
Yes. Well, the difference is you never play cards with a cheetah. That's the big difference. So we have these two cheetahs back here, and they're brothers. They're taking a nap, which is what cats do a lot of the time. But cheetahs have only dots. They have white on them, and they have some brown as well, beige background. But and they have the teardrop marks on their eyes, so you can tell them that way. But they're taller, thinner, skinnier, fastest cat on the planet. And then we have the leopard over here, our Amur leopard Sophia. She's a critically endangered species like the cheetah, but built very differently. So leopards are built for climbing in trees, much like a jaguar. They're built for hauling their food that they've just killed up into a tree so nothing else steals it from them. So they're short, they're squatty, they're very strong. They still use their tail for balance, whereas the cheetahs will use their tail like a rudder to kind of help them steer when they're running really fast. But they are built very, very differently. Even though they are both cats, another difference between them, cheetahs do not have retractable claws, whereas your cats can pull their claws back in. Cheetahs can't do that, so it's like they have cleats on all the time and they're always ready to run.
That's probably why they're fast, because they're used to it.
They are, and so that's also why they nap. So they use all of their energy on one sprint, and then they nap the rest of the day.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, you just found out something about cheetahs and leopards, so when you see one, please don't understand that there are differences, okay? Spots and
rosette pattern, so it's like a dot in the center with black around it.
Black around it, okay? So don't confuse them, because they get very upset when you confuse them, okay? Don't go anywhere. We got some more to show you. Now we're on a gentler side of the park where we have, I won't say deer because they have a name.
Those are called lesser kudu. And then we also have these beautiful white with the beige on the back and the little white goatee, and those are called Adragazelle. They are found in the African plains. If you take a look at this exhibit, it's pretty cool because it's got a water feature in it, and we also have some saddle-billed storks in there that you can see. And in the distance, if you get a glimpse, you can see the zebra and the rhino as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're like right in Africa right here.
You are, you are. You've got the temperature, you've got the sun, you've got the grasslands, you've got the prey items, and you've got the predators across from them, so we've got it all.
You got it all. Tell me some of the other animals that we're not able to show right now that you have at the zoo, so you want people to know about.
So one of the nice things about the zoo is we now have some buildings that are inside and outside. So if you come here and it's hot or it's raining, you can still go into the chimp forest. When you know, the giraffe house is usually open, you can go into there, also into Penguin Coast, which is really exciting. You can see the penguins swimming by you underwater, which I love to do. So there's a lot of other options. Even if it's a little drizzly, still come on out to the zoo. You want to come out in the morning if it's super hot, because that's when the animals are really active. Like right now, the cheetahs are taking a nap because it's a little warm right now, and they just had a little lunch, so they're digesting their food. But you can come see those indoor-outdoor exhibits. You can also come do fun things like ride the carousel, and you can go to the children's zoo and go to the goat corral where you can scratch the goats. We don't hand feed the goats. The keepers do, but we don't allow people to come in and do that because they get really greedy.
Okay.
Goats get greedy, so we have a brushing box that you can brush the goats, which they really love. So you can come in for that. There's fun slides in the playground that the kids love. There's keeper chats throughout the day where the keepers will tell you about the animals they take care of. And there's also animals throughout the zoo to surprise people, like at Creature Encounters. You can come meet some of our animal ambassadors.
All right, that was awesome. So look, there's plenty to do here at the zoo, the third oldest zoo in the country. So you want to come by, see the animals, meet Amy and Miss Ballantyne. I appreciate her, you know, giving us an opportunity to show the animals. And make sure, how can they, you know, is a procedure for like groups and things like that?
So if you go to our website, which is marylandzoo.org, and you click on, there's a groups tab that you can click on. There's also ticket sales you can get on there. You can buy memberships online. You can book programs online. If you are a teacher and you want the zoo to come to you for our Zoomobile program, we do in-class programs at different schools throughout the state and actually out of state as well, senior centers, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, that sort of thing. We'll come out to community events. Just go to marylandzoo.org, click on Education if you're a teacher and you need that kind of information, or if you just want to know what's going on today. We have tickets, hours, and updates on all the animals.
And you bring the animals to the locations for the schools, right?
We have a pretty wide Zoomobile program. We have about 60 animals that travel. Some of those are penguins. We also travel Rise and Conquer, who are the official mascots of the Baltimore Ravens. They go out on program as well. We have a full staff of instructors and volunteers that help with those programs, and we do them year-round.
Okay, well, you have it all, so you can't get any better than that. All right, so make sure you come down to the Maryland Zoo. Come every day. We don't care, every day. Become a member. Become a member. That way you can get in whenever you feel like it.
That's right.
You know, you can even feed the lion.
We're open.
As long as you're open,
Yes.
right. We even let you feed the lions. We let you get inside the lions exhibit and let them eat on you.
We don't recommend that.
You don't recommend that?
No, it's
Nah.
something you can do once.
Yeah, you can only do that once, so once you do it, it's done. So, I appreciate you watching. Don't go anywhere. I appreciate you, Amy.
Yeah, thanks for coming out to visit.
And make sure the Maryland Zoo is here for you. I just made that up.
I like it.
You like it?
It rhymes. It's nice.
There you go.
It's catchy.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, I am brushing a goat very carefully and being very nice to me right now. So you can come down to the zoo and brush a goat. Don't feed them, just brush them. They like that. They like that. Like that? Yeah. Yeah, you like that.
And then sometimes I use it, I need a password.
And this has been my wildlife experience.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.